Time Check, courtesy Alive by Nature's Way, distributed by H&J Enterprises Limited.
Good evening and welcome. You're watching the 7 p.m. news here on CNC3. I'm Ryan Baiju.
I am Doris Polo.
I'm Jovan Ravello with Sport.
And I'm Jean-Marc Rampersad with your weather.
Let's tell you what's making the news tonight. Trinidad and Tobago rolls out the red carpet as Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrives for his two-day official visit.
Secondary entrance assessment results to be released at 11 p.m.
Fired central bank governor tips Stuart Young to lead his lawsuit against the government.
In sport, after bowling Australia out on day one, it's over to the West Indies batters in crucial second test.
Overnight showers from tropical wave number 12 are in the forecast. I'll have the details in tonight's weather report.
It was a colourful and ceremonial welcome as India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi touched down in TNT this afternoon to begin his official two-day state visit.
As Jesse Ramdeo tells us, Modi was greeted with state honours and a spectacular cultural showcase.
Air India One descended onto the tarmac of Piarco International Airport around 3:30 on Thursday afternoon, signalling the historic arrival of India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Trinidad and Tobago. As the aircraft door opened, Prime Minister Modi emerged, offering a brief namaste before descending the steps, where he was greeted by Prime Minister Kamla Bissar and members of the cabinet. A red carpet beneath his feet led to a full ceremonial guard of honor. As the anthems of India and Trinidad and Tobago echoed across the tarmac, military officers stood at attention, saluting the arrival of one of the world's most prominent global leaders. The mood at Piarco's South Terminal was festive, with members of the diaspora gathered, waving flags and capturing the historic moment. Before departure to the capital, the airport grounds became the center of a colorful cultural showcase. Tassa drummers pounded out celebratory rhythms alongside the African drums of iconic melodies, creating a unique soundscape that bridged continents. Indian classical dancers in radiant cultural wear performed next to Mokojambis, their synchronized movements reflecting the country's diverse cultural DNA. Prime Minister Modi's two-day visit includes meeting with President Christine Kangaloo, an address to a special sitting of Parliament, and a major diaspora engagement event in Couva. During the visit, Modi will be conferred with the Order of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the nation's highest national honor, marking the first time the award is being bestowed on an Indian Prime Minister. Jesse Ramdeo, CNC3 News.
Well, Prime Minister Modi's arrival was met with spectacle, but if you were on the highways, it would have been met with frustration. Parts
of the Churchill-Roosevelt Highway, including the southbound flyover, was closed due to vehicular traffic leaving at a standstill. Wrightson Road near the Hyatt was also partially blocked. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation has opened the priority bus route between the hours of 5:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m.
Well, hundreds are gathered at the National Cycling Velodrome tonight to hear Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Kamla Bissar address specially invited guests.
We'll bring you that highlight in a bit.
In response to concerns raised by Muslim groups in this country regarding Modi's visit, the government has reiterated its commitment to the principles of equality and respect while fulfilling diplomatic engagements.
Segments of the local Muslim community have publicly expressed discomfort over Modi's presence due to his administration's treatment of Muslim minorities in India. Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Sean Sobers tells CNC3 News that Trinidad and Tobago deeply values the rich diversity that defines this country's national identity. Sobers says this country will continue to maintain dialogue with all communities while simultaneously fostering constructive relationships with international partners.
Now, with Modi set to receive this country's highest award, the ORTT, we took to the streets of Marabella to ask citizens whether they support the decision.
This is what you had to tell us.
Yes, because the president was awarded an award in India not too long ago. So I feel it's a very good thing for the country.
If the Prime Minister find it fit to honor him and give him it because it has some significance, so I wouldn't be against it if it had something for we to go or some form of respect for we country and we people, an example or something. So for that to do that, I will say yes.
The award you're receiving is for like the highest thing you can get as a Trinidadian, but it's going to the Prime Minister of India, which makes no sense to me. If it was that he was doing something for Trinidad and like, I don't know, doing some big project or something to help the country, and that's why he was receiving the award, I would understand.
No. Yeah, because he do nothing for Trinidad to deserve our award. There are lots of people here who deserve it, and I don't think so.
Of course not. I'm not aware that he did anything in recognition to obtain that award. So, in respect to that, I don't see it warranted.
Let's tell you what's still to come in the news tonight. CEPEP contractor gives company until the end of today to reverse his firing.
Police commissioner orders audit into unused weapons in the service.
And later on in sport, Chloe Fraser strikes gold at the World Table Tennis Youth Championships in Caracas.
Our connection is reliable, credible, and authentic. Thank you for trusting me to bring you the news. It's a privilege to be in your homes and hearts. With every story and every newscast, CNC3 is keeping you informed and inspired. When it comes to news, we are where you are.
Former Prime Minister Stuart Young is leading the legal team for fired Central Bank Governor Dr. Alvin Hilaire. On Wednesday, Hilaire signaled his intention to sue the state for wrongful dismissal.
And in other news, Finance Minister Dave Tanku says there is obvious need for Trinidad and Tobago to diversify its reliance on oil and gas. More from Gisha Kaulesa Alonso in tonight's Business Watch.
Former Prime Minister Stuart Young, SC, has been hired by dismissed Central Bank Governor Dr. Alvin Hilaire to represent him. This follows Dr. Hilaire's intention to sue the state for wrongful dismissal by issuing a pre-action protocol letter on Wednesday to the Cabinet via the Attorney General and the Cabinet Secretary. In a WhatsApp message sent to Guardian Media on Thursday, Dr. Hilaire disclosed Young was leading his legal team, which also comprises Anthony Bullock and Imran Ali. Dr. Hilaire also says that a calm, prompt and complete resolution of the matter would be in the best interest of the international economic reputation of Trinidad and Tobago. Guardian Media also reached out to Attorney General John Jeremy on Thursday, who says he has not seen the pre-action protocol letter. The AG adds, however, that the usual course of action is expected to be taken, including replying. In his WhatsApp message, the former central bank governor also adds that he was privileged to be part of the elite squad, that is, the staff of the central bank. Dr. Hilaire's appointment was revoked by President Christine Kangaloo on June 24, 2025. In other business news, Finance Minister Devijnath Tanku says, while the government continues to promote oil and gas, it is looking to expand the non-energy sector.
There's obvious need given international events, given the region's movement away from reliance on mineral fuels, oil and gas in particular, that the Trinidad and Tobago needs to diversify its base. We have spent the last 10 years, my government, recently been elected, we have spent the last 10 years developing plans that will transition Trinidad and Tobago away from oil and gas, while maintaining a level of engagement with the sectors.
Minister Tanku spoke on Monday during a panel discussion on financing development in the Caribbean, hosted by CAF, the Development Bank of Latin America and the Caribbean. And now for a look at today's energy and forex prices. Gisha Kaulesa Alonso, CNC3 Business Watch.
Attorneys representing a CEPEP contractor who was fired last week have begun legal proceedings against the company.
Stephen Samuels Contractors Limited issued the pre-action protocol letter today. It comes one day after P&M executives Faris Al-Rawi and Marvin Gonzalez vowed to take action against the state over the dismissal of some 4,000 reforestation workers. Attorneys Larry Lala and Kareem Marcel wrote that the termination of their client is both unfair and illegal, as CEPEP did not give the required 30 days notice. The letter adds that during his tenure with CEPEP, Stephen Samuel provided satisfactory service. The attorneys called on CEPEP to withdraw the termination letter by the end of the day or face litigation. Attempts to contact CEPEP's Chief Executive Officer, Keith Eddy, for a response were unsuccessful.
Now, as former CEPEP workers await word on when or if they will be rehired, the Minister of Public Utilities says the company's new board will be revealed next week. Minister Barry Padarath told CNC3 News details will be finalized soon. The new CEPEP board is expected to be given a mandate to register new contractors under updated stipulations for improved transparency and efficiency. Hundreds of CEPEP contracts, reportedly over 300 contractors were terminated last Friday, reportedly affecting approximately 10,500 workers. An audit into CEPEP's assets, contracts and operations is ongoing, as the minister says none had been conducted since 2020. Workers and former contractors have protested outside CEPEP headquarters, demanding answers and clarity on when they will be rehired.
The Steelworkers Union is tonight urging the government to be compassionate and intervene in the ArcelorMittal liquidation, now dragging into its 9th year. After a creditors' meeting at Cara Suites Hotel in Claxton Bay, union members and former workers left disheartened with no solution in sight. Union President Timothy Bailey told reporters the plant's assets were handed over to TNT Iron and Steel, but the liquidator only received $3 million of US $30 million owed, which was directed to Plipdeco. Bailey says the process seems to be tainted with favoritism and cited the failed Dragon Gas deal as an unjust excuse for delaying worker compensation. He says while the buyer takes control, the workers remain stuck in limbo with no severance or settlements.
I am saying this is an ideal situation for your intervention. The Keith Rowley-led P&M did nothing for 9 years to steelworkers for whatever reason. And we are saying that under the circumstances, no, you cannot allow citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to go through the suffrage and a liquidator to operate the way this current liquidator is operating now.
Among the affected employees is Denicia Dabro, who was declared medically unfit after a spinal injury on the job in 2013. She can no longer work in the industrial field. Now unemployed, she depends on disability grants and can not qualify for a mortgage.
I'm looking forward to having a job. I am unemployed. I have a daughter. We are trying to attain a mortgage. We cannot attain a mortgage without a job. I was told by the bank I cannot use my disability to attain a mortgage. I am 40 at this present time, and I need a job to survive because a man cannot eat unless he works.
Its Point Lisas plant in March 2016, terminating 644 workers without severance. 9 years later, they're still waiting for justice as the liquidation process continues without closure. The union says it is not opposed to the plant restarting, but insists that justice for workers must come first.
All right, shifting gears, Seamen and Waterfront Workers Union President General and Director at Port and Maritime Services Limited, Michael Anisette, is tonight dismissing claims that approximately 25 workers were fired for refusing to work under what they call poor wages and inhumane conditions at the Port of Spain.
That's right, Doris. Anisette says the issue was a misunderstanding which was resolved following a meeting on Monday, adding that they resumed their duties on Tuesday.
The issue of being suspended because that action was taken on the basis that if they don't come back to work, they will have people to carry out the functions. When they came, they say they came back to work there Monday, they saw people working 10 times, and it had a little friction, obviously. But as I tell people within the press families, it does have disagreements.
Anisette acknowledges some of the workers' concerns were valid, including ongoing issues with pigeon and rat infestations, which he says have been a long-standing challenge due to the proximity of national flour mills.
He noted that efforts have been made to tackle the sanitation issues, but admitted that wages remain a challenge as the company has not received an increase in handling fees since 1995.
We feel strong that there must be a revisit of that contract in order to ensure that there's mutual benefit to everybody in the operations and the supply of labor at the station, both in Port of Spain and in Point Recess.
Anisette says he plans to reach out to the finance minister to discuss the way forward while recognizing his busy schedule ahead of the September budget.
Meanwhile, one worker told us they've returned to the job but said Anisette requested 2 weeks to address their concerns. Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara has started clearing the backlog of firearm users' license applications, retaining the first batch for processing. He says it is part of his push for fairness, efficiency and transparency. Applicants are being told to wait for direct instructions from their police stations, as only new applications will be accepted at the firearms permit unit. Guevara has also approved a new policy allowing select off-duty officers to take their firearms at home. He's ordered an audit of unused weapons and is pushing for the full absorption of SRPs into the regular police force. With over 4,000 vests and 3,000 body cameras on order, Guevara says staff unity and public trust remain his top priorities. And the police commissioner says he is standing by his officers as an internal probe continues into Deputy Commissioner of Police Suzette Martin. Guevara assured officers they can count on his support even as the TTPS faces public scrutiny. He says the investigation will be transparent and fair, with the findings sent to the Director of Public Prosecutions for independent review. The commissioner believes the process will show that the police service can hold itself accountable without interference.
Former Police Commissioner and National Security Minister Gary Griffith has criticized the sudden removal of former Prime Minister Stuart Young's security detail. Griffith called the move unprofessional and risky. He says proper protocol requires warning the person days or weeks in advance. This allows time to adjust and arrange private security if needed. Young reportedly lost his security while meeting constituents, with officers told to stand down immediately. Griffith urged the public to look beyond politics and understand security protocols. Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara said he acted on a cabinet directive. Griffith warned that cabinet should only recommend, not order security changes. He said acting without threat assessments risks politicizing the police. A senior cabinet official said a recent threat assessment found no ongoing risk to Young. Griffith recalled providing security to former Prime Minister Dr. Rowley when he was opposition leader despite objections. This set a precedent for opposition leaders to receive state security. He added that former opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar had increased protection during his time as police commissioner. Current opposition leader Penelope Beckles still has state security detail.
A Couva mother is tonight demanding justice after her 13-year-old son was badly beaten outside Union Claxton Bay Secondary on Wednesday. The Form 2 student had just left the school when two Form 4 students attacked him on the pavement. She believes it stemmed from an incident a few weeks ago when he stood up for himself because they were bullying him. The mother says she got the call just after 2:30 and rushed to the school, where she found him bruised and bleeding. His child's face was swollen, his eyes red, and blood stained his shirt. The principal called the police and sent him for medical treatment, but his mother says that's not enough. She wants those responsible to face more than just suspension.
They will do somebody else that again. They will do another child it again. You know, and given what you see happening at Holy Faith Convent just a few weeks ago, and then this happened, what next? I just want justice for what they did to my son. I don't know, maybe if you have not, at least more than suspension.
She is now seeking a transfer for her son, and she's calling on parents to be more involved in their children's life and to take responsibility for their actions.
You know what it is to know that you're home and your children not safe on the road, you know, to know that somebody just beat up your child. I mean, you ask yourself, what the parents doing in their homes with the children, you know? You know, what you doing as a parent? Because you can't be bringing up a child who could just come and just beat up your child, you know.
Education Minister Dr. Michael Dowlett says the school is conducting further investigations and will suspend the students involved.
He says that counseling and behavioral support will be provided by Student Support Services and stressed the ministry's zero-tolerance stance on school violence. Meanwhile, police have returned to the school to continue their investigation into the incident.
Recently, 5 female students from 3 different schools were charged for assaulting a Holy Faith Convent Couva student. Cabinet has established an interministerial committee to oversee and expedite the repatriation of TNT nationals, particularly women and children currently in Syria and Iraq.
That's right. Government confirmed that the decision was taken as part of its ongoing commitment to protect and assist citizens stranded abroad, especially those impacted by the conflict zones in the Middle East. The committee will be chaired by Attorney General John Jeremy. There have been several calls for the repatriation of the more than 100 nationals currently detained in Syria, including at least 56 children and 20 women. Head of the Repatriation Committee, Nizam Mohammed, had previously called on the Muslim community to withhold their votes in the April 28th general election if the major parties did not commit to resolving the issue. In other news, the parents of 3 people killed by police 3 years ago are renewing their calls for justice.
The parents and a handful of relatives held a candlelight vigil outside Republic Bank Independence Square on Wednesday night. Relatives of Fabian Richards, Leonardo Williams and Isaiah Roberts say they have been given the runaround by police. 2 years ago, the director of the Police Complaints Authority recommended that the matter be sent for an inquest. Lead investigator in the matter, Superintendent Neil Brandon John, died last year, with the case still open. The 3-year delay is now prompting thoughts of a cover-up. And as Williams's father, Leo, told CNC3 News, he just wants justice and for the Prime Minister to get involved.
I respect the TTPS as a law-abiding citizen, but it's about time for we to dig out and root out the rogue element in the TTPS, because it is not fair when they do the crime against poor people, children in this country, brother. I am grieving out my heart, and we seeking justice. So as I was saying, I am begging for this government right now, under the UNC, Kamala Persad-Bissessar and her team, to look into this case right now.
The trio were killed after leaving a party in Diego Martin. Autopsy reports show they were shot from behind. Williams says the killing of his only son and his friends was murder.
Right now, parents grieving out their heart. We need equal rights and justice, ma'am. This is murder. Members of the TTPS murder our kids in cold blood down here, ma'am. And all the TTPS, members of the TTPS was to be, is be professional. Because they don't conquer the car already, ma'am. They ram them, they run them into the car. The car almost turn over, they don't conquer the car, ma'am. Why they choose to be judge, jury, and executioner?
CNC3 News was informed that the investigation is near completion and should be closed soon.
Let's tell you what's still to come in the news. Ahead of the result of SEA at midnight, parents cautioned to celebrate their children and not the result.
We had mostly fair conditions today with a few cloudy periods and isolated showers over both islands. Now things were looking a bit ominous as activity associated with tropical wave peaked to the east. But as expected, a lot of the thunderstorms have now moved north of us. I'll let you know what we can expect coming up just after the break.
Shop Southern Food Basket anniversary specials now. Garlic 1 pound for $9.95. Russet potatoes 5 pounds $17.95. Grill Master Burger patties 2 pounds $49.95. Great Value crinkle cut fries 5 pounds 2 for $59.95. Golden Brand margarine 4 for $19.95. Anchor cheddar cheese 250 grams 2 for $44.95. Richport vegetable oil 500 ml 3 for $19.95. Lucozade Energy 360 ml 3 for $18.95. Chubby 3 cases for $100. Clorox 1 gallon $26.95. Double duty medium garbage bags $17.95. With every $300 you spend at any Southern Food Basket, you can qualify to win a brand new Suzuki Grand Vitara. Much more prizes to be won, including Caribbean getaways, staycations, and shopping spree.
Dress like you mean business at The Working Woman we bring you stylish, professional looks made for the modern woman. From casual to formal workwear, we've got your professional wardrobe covered.
So I hear Beta Homes has the best kitchens.
You heard right. We have Shaker style, modern Euro, and hardwood.
I like this one. Can I test it right here, right now?
Sure, but how are you gonna do that?
All right, you all, come inside. Are you ready?
Time's alive! Oh, a spice rack.
Soft closed door hinges. Oh, this countertop's nice, well. It's hot,
So, what do you think?
Well, this
100%.
is it. I'll take it.
Build the kitchen you love for less at Beta Homes, Caroni or French Street.
Discover Regal Granola. Crunchy, flavorful, bursting with berries, seeds, Regal almonds, walnuts, pecans. High in fiber with real orange juice. Get Regal Granola, the perfect snack for your lunchbox.
Food Basket. Food Basket, nation's #1 supermarket, bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. For everyday low price, things real nice. Come in once, but to come back twice. Wholesale retail, everything for you. A real much I wanna shop for go view. Food Basket, the nation's #1 supermarket, bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. Food Basket, Marketplace Shaguanas, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
There's something here for everyone, from baby to adulthood. Anything you need, it is right here at Food Basket Super 99.
Food Basket Super 99, affordable and trendy. Food Basket Super 99 Arima, where fashion meets affordability.
The secondary entrance assessment results for 17,870 pupils will be released online this evening.
But before parents and their children log in to see how they did, clinical traumatologist Dr. Hanif Benjamin is advising parents to celebrate their children's efforts regardless of the result. He said all SEA students have reached a milestone which should be recognized and admired.
When they go to look at the portal or whatever it is, that no matter what this slip may say, no matter what this computer may say, we are proud of you. We are proud that you would have stayed the course for the 7 years. We are proud that you would have reached the pinnacle of this stage. And whatever this result is, we will remain proud of you as we take it to the next level.
Meanwhile, psychiatrist Dr. Varma Diyal Singh cautioned against blaming or making comparison to others. He said each child is special and will find themselves.
JW, we out of time and bad. Right? We out of time and real bad with how we does approach people. And what your child, no. You are not obligated to say anything to anyone.
Okay.
Right? As a matter of fact, I will encourage people to, only if I approach you to tell you my child's result, fine, but don't come and ask me nothing.
We do apologize. That was, of course, Dr. Hanif Benjamin again. Meanwhile, child and family therapist Dr. Sarah Subhan also encouraged parents to be mindful of their reactions as it can impact in the long run. Shama, big day for us tomorrow. Guardian Media has an inter-work football tournament. You and I are on the same team. Doris, I'm not sure where you're at.
I'm spectating.
She's spectating. Hopefully you're spectating for us. What weather can we expect?
Well, tomorrow in particular, we are expecting a couple of showers during the morning and in the afternoon.
Slight tackles, but
maybe a couple heavy showers during the early afternoon, but hopefully it clears up by mid to late afternoon for us to be outside.
Awesome.
All right, so let's take a look at the satellite. Now, activity with the tropical wave peaked earlier today, but that activity has decreased and the remaining thunderstorms have passed to the north of Trinidad and Tobago. A short distance behind, we have tropical wave 13, which the National Hurricane Center seems to have merged with 12, but we'll keep tracking them separately for now. in terms of the rain events. Then further away, we have tropical wave number 14 out in the Atlantic. So zooming into the region, some showers across the island chain today. Here we can see some of the thunderstorms associated with the tropical wave near Barbados and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. To our east, we still have a lot of moisture to pass over us over the next day or two. So the forecast for tonight, we can expect partly cloudy conditions with scattered showers and the medium chance of 1 or 2 isolated heavy showers and thunderstorms, and they'll tend to favor Tobago and eastern areas of Trinidad tonight. Now, overnight lows of 23 in Trinidad and 25 over in Tobago can be expected. Tomorrow, we can expect the partly cloudy conditions to continue with a few showers during the morning and afternoon with a chance of 1 or 2 isolated thunderstorms, likely around late morning to early afternoon, and more likely over the western half of Trinidad. Conditions are expected to settle by the late afternoon with some lingering cloudiness into the night. Sea conditions are moderate with waves in open waters up to 1.5 meters and calm to smooth in sheltered areas. Winds out of the east-southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Now looking ahead, we're looking at a relatively wet 5 days, and after tomorrow, Saturday has a slightly higher chance of rainfall than Sunday and Monday, slightly lower, so just a few showers and the very low chance of the odd heavy shower on those days. Then the chance of thunderstorms increases again on Tuesday. Saturday and Sunday, we'll have some cooler nighttime temperatures as we're expecting some lighter winds on those days. Now elsewhere in the region, that disturbance near Florida now has a 60% chance of development over the next 7 days. Still early days, but we'll keep an eye on it heading into next week. Now tonight, let's look at another weird cloud formation. Residents in Atlanta were duped by a bizarre low-hanging cloud, mistaking the freakish funnel-like formation for a large tornado. It was definitely giving tornado-like vibes, but it's actually a harmless formation called a scud cloud. These are low-hanging, ragged cloud fragments that form below the base, the main cloud base, and the difference is the noticeable lack of rotation that sets it apart from a tornado. So guys, what would you do if you saw one of these?
That was a crud cloud, you said?
Scud.
Scud cloud. Okay,
Scud
I
cloud.
would totally disappear from wherever I was in the vicinity of that thing.
We could say it was a case of mistaken sky identity.
Thank you very much, Shamak. Let's tell you what's still to come in the news tonight. Family of 4 homeless after fire guts their home.
Don't forget, we are Food Basket Superstore right here in Arima. Come see for yourself, from stationeries to household items and so much more, right here at Food Basket Superstore in Arima.
I really love the variety. There's something for everyone here.
Discover a breakthrough in healthcare at Liberty Medical Center, where expert care is affordable. See top specialists in endocrinology, diabetes care, dermatology, psychiatry, psychology, urology, obstetrics, and gynecology. We offer ultrasound, x-rays, and ECGs. With full diagnostic services, an in-house pharmacy, and compassionate care, you'll leave feeling better than you came in. Visit us at 154 Pointe-a-Pierre Road, San Fernando, or call 610-4562. Liberty Medical Center, your health, our mission.
Food Basket. Food Basket, nation's #1 supermarket, bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. For everyday low price, things real nice. Come in once, but to come back twice. Wholesale, retail, everything for you. Arima, Shagwana, Shafre, go view. Food Basket, the nation's #1 supermarket, bakery, restaurant, meat market, fresh producers, everything fantastic. Food Basket, Marketplace, go view, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
Nature's Ways Alive Kids Gummies are multivitamin gummies meant to support the development of children's bodies like their bones, muscles, joints, brain, heart, and also their immune health. Choose Alive Kids Gummies by Nature's Way because they deserve it.
Get the best in affordable eyewear. Frames with blue filter lenses and eye exam, $399. Single vision lenses with transitions on designer frames, $799. Progressive transitions with designer frames, $1,399. Happening only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
Welcome back. A New Grant family narrowly escaped tragedy on Tuesday after a fire gutted their home in Hindustan.
Stacey George was about to prepare dinner when her stove suddenly caught fire. Within moments, flames spread rapidly through the house. The 27-year-old woman and her husband, Tezan Chattergoon, grabbed their 7-month-old son and 2-year-old daughter and ran to safety. The family escaped unharmed, but the fire destroyed everything they owned within minutes. George described the ordeal as terrifying, but said she's grateful her family is alive.
It's always about to cook and as soon as I put on my children, as I well, like the school, everything is blow up. And for a start, they scaled the hand really quick at the grab the children and run outside.
Left with just the clothes they were wearing, the family is now seeking assistance to rebuild their home.
The stove, the couch, my fridge, I buy 2 grand bed recently for them children. It's done. Everything gone. All them children walk catch full, everything banner. All the tray clothes, my clothes.
Maruga Tableland Member of Parliament Michelle Benjamin visited the family. Anyone willing to assist them can contact 361-8704.
A Tobago electrical contractor has died after falling off a ladder at a worksite in Bonaccord. Police say 62-year-old Daryl Figaro of Mount Hay Blackrock was working on the roof of More Vibes Villa around 5:15 p.m. on Tuesday when he fell. Police said he began bleeding from his nose and ears and was rushed to the Scarborough General Hospital. Figaro was warded in a critical condition but died hours later. Police are continuing investigations. Several stray animals are believed to have been poisoned to death near the Temple in the Sea at Waterloo, Karapi, Chima today, prompting public outrage from animal welfare advocates.
Dale Balkaran Singh, an animal rights activist and founder of the social media group Dog Fathers Rescues, says he was appalled to discover the bodies when he visited the site to feed the animals. On his arrival at the site, workers from the Kuva Tabaki Talparo Regional Corporation informed him they had found several dead animals, including dogs, cats, and birds at the cremation site next to the temple in the sea. According to Balkaran Singh, the workers disposed of the carcasses by throwing them into the sea before the start of cremation activities. Veterinarian Dr. Glenn Ramadar Singh called on government to support the spaying and neutering of animals, noting the high costs of such procedures. Well, the role of reform in crime fighting took focus during the launch of a skills training program for inmates of the Aruka Maximum Security Prison yesterday as part of efforts to prepare them for release.
But while such programs have been credited with addressing challenges of recidivism, the need for further resources for success was also highlighted. CNC3 News' Shane Superville has this story.
The need for continued rehabilitative support for prisoners was one of several key issues raised at the launch of a skills training program for inmates at the Aruka Maximum Security Prison. The program, which was coordinated by NGO Vision on Mission, aims to help reacclimate inmates to society once they were released. But while the occasion was cause for hope and introspection, Vision on Mission's CEO Giselle Chance reported that the group's facilities were currently stretched to the max. She notes that while the organization has done their best to accommodate everyone who qualified, there were no facilities in place for female deportees or female former inmates seeking rehabilitation.
Currently, we have no more room in the inn as I speak. So if there were to be a female released tomorrow with nowhere to go, I would have nowhere to house them. That's as of today.
It's for this reason that Chance says inmates seeking reform should make the most of the organization's facilities and programs for their own good.
The space at Vision on Mission is very valuable. And the minute you come by us and we realize that you ain't ready, there's somebody else waiting to take your space for an opportunity.
Inmate and past participant of the program, Majid Hossain, also urged younger participants to take the opportunity seriously, as their focus and discipline could mean their first steps towards freedom and a new life.
Get up. When the officers come for the program, get up and go. Don't say you're not going. Don't make no excuse. Okay, by making an excuse, you won't get nothing. I didn't make no excuse. I attained 25 certificates, and I'm still looking to get 25 more again. And as issues of crime and security remain a top priority, greater collaboration and more resources for reform could make a difference for the nation as a whole. Shane Superville, CNC3 News.
Thanks, Shane. Let's hand you over now to Jovan Ravello to find out what's coming up next in sport.
Thanks, Reese. Coming up in sport, TNT U19s open with a thrilling win in the West Indies Rising Stars Championship. And the Gold Cup finalists are set. The region's two giants are set to duke it out once again. More when sport.